The static. It isn't random. It's rhythmic. Like a heavy, wet rag hitting a linoleum floor. Thwack. Slide. Thwack. I have been listening to this tape for 6 hours. The frequency is bleeding out of the headphones. It's in the walls now. If you can hear the humming, the low electronic drone behind my voice, don't turn it up. Whatever you do, keep the volume low. He's still cleaning. He hasn't finished his rounds yet. It started with the end-of-year archives, Box 42, Living History Projects. 17 years of grading children's recordings. Usually, it's just the smell of old cardboard and the sound of grandfathers grumbling about the price of milk. But this tape was different. It felt heavy, cold. The plastic casing was stained with something dark and tacky. A series of labels had been peeled off, leaving only a jagged gray residue like scar tissue. I went home. I poured a glass of wine to dull the boredom. The house was too quiet. The isolation of the suburbs usually feels like safety, but tonight the silence felt hungry. I pressed play. The audio hiccuped. A mechanical grind. Grrr, clunk. Then, the first sound emerged. Not a voice. A wet, rhythmic slapping. The sound of a mop being dragged through a puddle that never dries. It was hypnotic. A young girl's voice cracked through the static. She sounded small, terrified. She was interviewing an old man, the relative. He didn't sound like a grandfather. He sounded like a machine running out of oil. Every breath was a rattle, a metallic wheeze. He spoke about the border wars, not the battles, but the aftermath. The places where the map had been torn in half and left to bleed in the dirt. He talked about a structure, a place of learning that had been hollowed out by mortar fire. No windows, no doors, just a skeleton of brick and rebar. He said he found a letter in the crawl space. The ink was damp. He began to read it. His voice went flat, dead. The tone of a man who has seen the logic of the world break and decided simply to stop looking at it. The letter belonged to the caretaker, a man who stayed behind when the bombs fell, a man who lost everything to a fever, his wife, his child. He wrote that he never left the building. He said the school was the only thing that left that made sense. He described his daily routine, the cleaning, the repairs, the constant, diligent maintenance of a ruin. He spoke of his radio, his only companion in the dark. I noticed something strange in the background of the tape. Between the man's words, there were other sounds, soft thumps, chattering, like a classroom full of children whispering. But the man said the school was destroyed. He said he was alone. I paused the tape. I checked my windows, locked. I checked the hall, empty. But when I put the headphones back on, the whispering was louder. It sounded like gratitude. The caretaker wrote about the students. He said they were so well behaved now. They never moved. They never made a mess. He would sweep around their desks. He would wipe the dust from their hair. He said he brought his radio to the basement to hide from the memories. The music kept the ghosts quiet. Until the day the batteries died. Until the day the world went silent. He couldn't bear the silence. I can feel the floor vibrating. A low-frequency hum. It's coming from the basement of my own house. I live alone. There should be nothing running down there. No furnace, no pipes, just the cold concrete. But the hum matches the frequency on the tape. 142.8. The Caretaker's station. My breathing is getting shallow. I can smell it now. The scent of old bleach. And something sweet, like rotting fruit left in a locker. The relative on the tape finally described what he found in that basement. He didn't find a survivor. He found a museum of the dead. The caretaker had been cleaning for years. He had moved the bodies of the children into rows. He had dressed them. He had mended their bones with wire and tape. He had treated the rot like it was just a stubborn stain that needed more soap. The relative said the man was hanging from the rafters, but he wasn't a skeleton. He was preserved, pickled in the fumes of his own cleaning chemicals. And the radio wasn't dead. It was sitting on a pile of rubble. It was screeching, a piercing electronic scream that never ended. He said he could hear voices in the scream, calling for a teacher, calling for me. I need to turn this off. I can't find the switch. Wait, the tape. It just changed. The girl isn't talking anymore. There's a new voice. It's my voice. I'm hearing myself speak, but I'm saying things I haven't said yet. I'm talking about how the floors in my hallway are looking a bit dull, how I need to find a broom, how the silence in the house is finally over. My hands are so cold. I think I've been sitting here for days. The hum is rhythmic now, like a heartbeat. I stood up to go to the kitchen, but I didn't walk. I drifted. The walls felt soft, damp. I looked at the mirror in the hallway and I didn't see my face. I saw the hallway behind me, stretching out forever, a liminal void of beige wallpaper and flickering lights. And there was a shadow at the end of it, a tall shadow, holding a long wooden handle. I tried to scream, but only static came out. My throat felt like it was full of wet wool. I reached for the door, but the handle was gone. Smooth wood. Everything is becoming smooth, polished, clean. The caretaker is very good at his job. He doesn't like loose ends. He doesn't like clutter. And I am clutter. He's coming to sweep me away. I can hear the bristles scratching the carpet. The radio is louder now. It's coming from under my skin. A high-pitched whistle that makes my teeth ache. He says the school is open. He says the students are waiting. I look down at my feet. The floor is gone. There is only a black pit filled with the discarded history of 1,000 forgotten wars. And the smell of ozone and bleach is suffocating. I can't catch a breath. If you are grading this project, please give me an A. I worked so hard to keep the room tidy. I moved the furniture so the corners are perfect. I wiped the blood from the windows until they sparkled. You can see the moon so clearly now. It's white, like a dead eye, like the eye of the man in the basement. He's standing behind me. I can feel the cold air from his mop bucket. Don't look at the frequency, 142.8. If you see it on your dial, turn the car around. Don't go home. The house isn't yours anymore. It belongs to the janitor. He's been waiting for a new building to maintain. He's been waiting for someone to listen to his song. The static is the only truth left. The world is just rubble, and we are the dust that needs to be collected. The relative was wrong. The caretaker didn't die. You can't kill a routine. You can't kill a man who has become a machine. I can feel my joints clicking like a mechanical brush. Sweep, slide, sweep, slide. My eyes are bulging, but I'm not scared. I'm just focused. There's a spot on the floor near the door, a small red stain. It's bothering me. I need to scrub. I need to scrub until the wood disappears. The girl, Olivia, she knew. She sent the second disc for a reason. It wasn't a project. It was a transfer, a handoff. She's free now, and I am the new archivist. I am the one who listens to the dead. I am the one who keeps the ruin clean. My classroom is empty, but the seats are filled with memories that I keep polished. They are so quiet, so perfect. They never argue. Everything is white now. The color of bleach, the color of a fresh sheet over a face. The radio is playing a symphony of clicking tongues. It's beautiful. I've forgotten my name. I only remember my duty. The building must be preserved, no matter what happens outside, no matter how many bombs fall. The hallway must be swept. The desks must be straight. The students must be still. I am standing behind your door right now. I have the keys. I found them in the larder. You left a mess in the kitchen. A glass of wine, a crumb on the counter. It's unacceptable. I have to fix it. I have my radio. Can you hear the screeching through the wood? That's the sound of a job well done. That's the sound of the frequency finding you. Do not turn off the static. It's all that's keeping the walls from falling down. If the radio dies, the building dies, and we die with it. Just keep listening. Keep the volume low. And for God's sake, don't look at the janitor's closet. The door is blocked by a chair, but the chair is moving. I can hear the wood groaning.